Hi everyone, this is Venkatesh from Naresh IT Technologies. So in this video today, let us have a small topic and small discussion on anonymous array. The meaning of this anonymous array is nothing but the array which is declared without name. We are calling it as anonymous array. So let us see the syntactical and execution of this anonymous array. After that, I will show the concept, diagrammatical concept. What is this anonymous array? And this anonymous array will generate one object. The object becomes anonymous object. So in this video, we are getting awareness on anonymous array, and anonymous array is generating one anonymous array object. So whenever you want to execute normal array, let me show one example with normal array. After that, I will convert that array into anonymous array. See there, I had one subclass like this, display. In this display, I had one method, void display. In this display, I had integer x like this. So I am taking one array variable. I took one class now, display class. Display class is having one method known as das, which is accepting one integer array, integer wrapper class array. This array is going to collect one integer wrapper class objects indirectly. Whenever I want to display the data, I take the support of this for each loop, and this is the retrieval process. This is normal subclass. So in my main class now, here I am taking one integer array like this. Integer a is equal to new integer of 10. So this is normal array creation. This is array creation. Normally this is one array creation, but I am taking 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I am declaring one array like this, which is having 5 elements. Integer wrapper class array, which is having 5 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this integer wrapper class array, which is holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. So these are nothing but integer elements indirectly. Array is collection of similar data type. Already we know the definitions. And now this becomes what now? One integer array, but this array is having one name known as a now. Now here I am calling the method. Whenever I want to call this method, this display method, I must create object for this. So create object for display. Display some obj equal to new display. So display obj equal to new display. This is the object. So through this object we can access this method. So I am accessing it now. Obj dot display of, I am passing a as parameter. Look here, I am passing this integer array name as parameter. This I am calling it as method call. So if you observe clearly here, this is the normal program here. I declared one array which is of integer wrapper class array holding 5 elements now. Now I am creating one object for this display class, object for display class, and this display class is having one method known as display, which is accepting array elements. So nothing but I am passing this parameter now, integer array I am passing as parameter. Now whenever I want to call this method, I am calling obj dot display here, obj dot display of a now. I am passing this array. So if I execute this program, I will get the answer. This is normal output coming from your normal execution of array. But today's class is what now? Understanding the anonymous array. Now the class is nothing but understanding anonymous array. Anonymous array means array should not have any name, right? Whenever you don't want to declare any name now, so it should not have any name. Remove this name now. So the cut this, the total, and pass as parameter here. Now I am passing new integer array, which is having how many elements now? 5 elements. New integer array having 5 elements means what? This array is not having a name. This kind of declaration we are calling it as anonymous array. I am calling it as anonymous array. So if you observe clearly this syntax now, I am passing new integer. This is one array representation which is holding 5 integer elements. I am passing this as parameter while method call. but I am not passing the array variable as method call now. In method call, I am passing new integer which is having 5 elements, I am passing as parameter. So this kind of declaration I am calling it as anonymous array. If I run the program, I will get the same output. I will get the same output. So the meaning is what now? We are passing anonymous array means what? Array without name we are passing. Suppose I want to pass like this now. Example, obj.display. Here I want to pass new. See there, I am trying to pass now new string array which is holding 3 string elements. So this is also one kind of anonymous array only. Kind of anonymous array. Also one anonymous array. This array is not having a name, this array is not having a name. But in the same method I cannot pass it, no. So I will take one display 1 here, example. So I will declare one display 1 here now. Void display 1 which is accepting some string z like this. Here we are going to display. So we are having one more method known as display 1 now. So this display method is accepting integer array elements. Display 1 is accepting string array elements. If I run the program, I will get the answer. This output is from here integer array, this output is from your string array here. So these two we are calling it as anonymous arrays. We are calling it as anonymous arrays. But here the two methods are there, no? Sir, let us accept the same by the same. So let us accept this by the same method means we are doing like this now. Now I am declaring one method which is accepting object. Already we know by the last video, this object array is holding dissimilar objects. Now this object array is holding integer anonymous array and this object is holding string anonymous array. So finally we can call the same method with different anonymous arrays or not. So this is the advantage of anonymous array. One code will be decreased and accepted by this object class again. So if you want to see the output clearly, I will keep one message here. For seeing the output clarity only. If I run the program, I will get the answer. First one is from integer array, second one is from string array, and this integer array in this program declared as anonymous and the string array is declared as anonymous. So anonymous array means the array which is declared without name. The array which is declared without name, we are calling it as anonymous array. So let me explain this concept of anonymous array through some small diagrammatical representation, and this anonymous array will generate one object, that is anonymous array object. So let me explain this through small diagrammatic representation. So today's discussion is nothing but anonymous array. The array which is declared without name, we are calling it as anonymous array. See this programming code. Just now I executed one small program to show the syntax of your anonymous array. If you see this program now, this I am calling it as main class, this I am calling it as subclass. Main class means where this public static void main has been declared. So the execution starts from public static void main. We are creating object for the display class. By using this object, we can access the display method of display class, DIS method of display class. So in this process, I declared one array here, new integer array, which is having 5 elements. This I am calling it as anonymous array. Let me show one small diagrammatical representation to understand this anonymous array. This anonymous array is generating one anonymous array object that I am going to try it out. So here let me draw this class like this. Now this class, display class, this display class this display is having one method, void display method, some X array is there. This is the method. Of course, anonymous, this main class will be there, but I am speaking about the subclass. I am coming from this method. Now the execution starts from here and public static void main. Imagine this is Java stack. Imagine this is one Java stack where this public static void main is copied for execution. In the process of execution, it has one line known as display obj equal to new display. Display obj equal, because public static void main has been copied onto Java stack for execution. Java stack for execution. In the process of execution, I had a first line known as display obj equal to new display. So I am concentrating on obj means what? Display obj equal to new display. This is object creation. Imagine the object is created here. This is object creation. The object is creating for this class. Some reference will be there. Imagine the object is having some reference. So display obj equal to new display. This is the object creation syntax. So we are creating object for this display class. While object creation, the non-static member will come. Anyway, the non-static member will come. Imagine the non-static member is copied here. The non-static member is copied here. Once the non-static member is copied here now, example, now this object creation has been ended. After object creation completed now, so what now? New display means one object is created and loading the reference onto this reference variable, we are loading onto obj. So this reference of this object is holded by obj. Now this is object creation. While object creation, the object is having one reference. The reference is holded by the object reference variable obj. This is the object creation of your display method. This object is having one non-static method, that is display. So which is holding some array element here, right? Now in the second line now from the program, the second line is nothing but obj dot display of new integer array 1 2 3 4. This is not having a name. So let us identify this line now. So to execute this line, I am going on to stack now. Here obj dot display of new integer of 1 2 3 4 5. This is one array. This I am calling it as method call. This I am calling it as method call. I am calling this display method. I am calling this display method from which object now? Obj. Obj dot display. The method should come for execution. Before method is coming for execution, I am passing one parameter. What is the parameter here? New integer array and having some 5 elements. Whenever I want to pass this new integer array having 5 elements, now this array should have some memory, no? You must create some memory. So it is having new integer of. Whenever new integer of now, this array will have one object now. This is array object. So we are having one array object. Array object. So the array object will be accommodated here. Imagine this is one array object. One array object. This array object is holding 5 integer elements. Now it is created with one array, right, which is holding 1 2 3 4 5. My intention of this diagram is nothing but this is one array object holding integer wrapper class objects. One object is integer wrapper class object. Array is collection of integer wrapper class objects. That's my intention of this diagram. And this is one array object will have one reference now. This reference I must load it. I am loading this reference onto obj, means what? The object is having a name known as obj. Now this object reference I must load it onto the one variable, but it is not having any reference variable. Whenever it is not having any reference variable, this array I am calling it as anonymous array, not having any name. Now this reference I am passing directly as a parameter to method call. I am passing this reference as parameter to the method call. Whenever I pass this reference as parameter to method call, now this reference is passed as parameter to display method. But you have to confirm your method call now. So you have to call this method. This method will come for execution. This method call will come for execution. This method came for execution. The method is nothing but void display integer x. Now this reference is copied here as parameter. So we pass this reference as parameter. Whenever I pass this reference as parameter, now this reference is available here on x. So internally the reference of this object is available within the method frame of display. So temporarily this array object is having a name known as x. So finally the execution will be here now. Here integer k and x, the output will come from here. Already you know the execution process. The method has been called, you have to pass parameter to the method, but in this example we are passing one reference as parameter. The reference belongs to one array object. The array is not having a name, but one object is created. The object is going to hold 5 integer wrapper class objects. I am passing the reference. The reference now available within the x variable. Now this is x is one integer variable. So temporarily the array object is having a name known as x. Now execution completed. Once execution completed, the method frame from your Java stack will be destroyed. Of course, be destroyed. So whenever this method execution has been completed, now this object which has been created do not have any name. So this becomes anonymous array object. Because after method execution has been completed, this object is not having any name. It has only object and reference. Object name is not there. The object which has been created without name, we can call it as anonymous object, but the object belongs to array, we can call it as anonymous array object. Why this anonymous array object has been created? Because the declaration we are calling it as anonymous array declaration. Finally the statement is nothing but the array which is declared without name, we are calling it as anonymous array. What is the type of declaration we can make in the programming part? See the programming code now. This is the programming code. In the programming code, I am declaring it as new integer array operator and passing as 5 elements here. This kind of syntax we are calling it as anonymous array syntax. I am passing this anonymous array as parameter to method while method call. This I am trying to show this concept diagrammatically here. In the process of showing diagrammatically here, I am creating object for display class. If I create object for display class, the object reference is available on one object reference variable obj and the object is having a method known as dis. Now the execution started. In the process of execution has been started, I am calling the method display dis from display class. While calling the method, I am passing new integer array of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as parameter. This is one anonymous. Whenever I want to pass parameter, definitely some object must be created for this. This object I am showing here. One object is created. Whenever there is an object, one reference will be there, but the object is accommodating integer wrapper class objects. How many objects? 5 objects. So the diagrammatic representation we are showing like this. Now the reference must be stored onto one reference variable, but here reference variable is not there. This indicates that the array which has been declared, we are calling it as anonymous array. So whenever I want to pass parameter, the reference will be passed as parameter. Whenever I pass this reference as parameter here, I am having a method call now. The method call is from where now? Method call. Call this method from obj.display. Means what? The display method is called from this object. Now the display method is copied here. When this display method is copied here, I must pass parameter now. I am passing the reference as parameter. This diagrammatic representation to indicate that x temporarily holding the reference of array object. So the name of that array object is x temporarily for execution, but after method execution has been completed, the object becomes anonymous object. The object without name, we are calling it as anonymous object. This anonymous object created from anonymous array, so we are calling it as anonymous array object. This is the small conceptual discussion on your anonymous array. Thank you. Watch me on more videos in Naresh IT Technologies.